Legend. The FIDE World Cup 2025 begins with a trophy named after India's chess legend Vishwanathan Anand, marking a proud milestone for Indian chess. And in Delhi, inspiration takes center stage. The Cricket Association for Blind in India unveiled the Team India jersey for the inaugural Women's T20 World Cup for the Blind 2025. A new dawn for the inclusive sports begins this November. This is Match Point, where every move, every moment counts. So let's get started. The grand finale of the ICC Women's ODI World Cup 2025 promises to be one of the most anticipated cricketing spectacles of the year. Set for Sunday, November 2, this high-voltage clash between India women and the South Africa women will unfold at the D.Y. Patil Sports Academy Stadium in Navi Mumbai. After weeks of thrilling contests and stellar performances, both the teams have earned their place in this momentous showdown, a battle that will etch new chapters in women's cricket history. Led by Harmanpreet Kaur, the Indian team boasts a perfect mix of youth and experience, with the dependable Smriti Mandhana, dynamic Shafali Verma, composed Jemimah Rodrigues, and all-rounder Dipti Sharma. India's batting and bowling department look balanced and inspired after the win against Australia. Talking about the South Africa, their challenge under the leadership of the Laura Wolvaardt, South Africa women enter the final with a strong depth and confidence. Key players like Marjana Cap, Chole Tryon and Nadine Day Clark and Tasneem Brits bring formidable experience and power to the squad. The Proteas defeated India in the league stage, successfully chasing down 252 with 3 wickets and 7 balls remaining, a result that adds an extra edge to the final encounter. The final is more than just a cricket match. It's a celebration of determination, sportsmanship and the rising stature of the women's cricket globally. Fans can expect an electrifying contest as both the teams aim to script history on the grandest stage. Now let's take a look at India's road to final. In the first match, India defeated Sri Lanka by 59 runs, and in the second match, India defeated Pakistan by 88 runs. In the third match, India lost to South Africa by 3 wickets, and in the fourth match, India lost to Australia by 3 wickets, and in the fifth match, India lost to England by 4 runs, and in the sixth match, they defeated New Zealand by 53 runs. And about the seventh match, it was the no result against Bangladesh, and in the eighth match, we saw that was the semi-final. India defeated the big team Australia by 5 wickets in the semi-finals of this tournament. So we can say that a fantastic tournament for India. And talking about the other team, the South Africa's road to final, lost to England by 10 wickets in their first match, and in their next match, that was second match, they defeated New Zealand by 6 wickets. So it was the bounce back. In the third match, we saw they defeated India by 3 wickets in their third league match. Talking about the fourth match, they defeated Bangladesh by 3 wickets, and in the fifth match, we saw the Proteas defeating Sri Lanka by 10 wickets by DLS method, and the sixth match, they stunned Pakistan, we can say 150 runs, a big margin by DLS method. And in the last league match, they lost to Australia by 7 wickets. And we know that in the semi-finals, they defeated the former champions England by 125 runs. And after that, they reached the final, and now they will face India in the finals in Navi Mumbai. Now let's take a look at India's top 5 performers. Smriti Mandhana, in 8 matches, 389 runs. The average is 55.57, strike rate 102.36, 1 century and 2 half centuries. And talking about the next player, Pratika, she has been ruled out, but a phenomenal contribution, 7 matches, 308 runs, 51.33, average strike rate 77.77, 1 century and 1 half century. And Jemimah Rodrigues, fantastic performance, 7 matches, 268 runs, average 67, strike rate 106, 1 century and 1 half century. Who can forget the performance against Australia in the semis? Dipti Sharma, 8 matches, 17 wickets, and the best figures 4 for 51, and the economy 5.70. And talking about next, our bowler Kranti Gaur, 7 matches, 9 wickets, and best figures 3 for 20, and economy is 3.0. 7-5. So fantastic performance, fantastic weekend, the stats displayed here by the Indian women cricketer. And talking about the South Africa, Laura Wolvaardt, 8 matches, 470 runs, 67.14. The average strike rate 97.91, 1 century and 3 half centuries. And Tasmeen Brits, 8 matches, 212 runs, average 30.28, 92.17 is the strike rate, 1 century and 1 half century. And Mandhana Cap, 8 matches, 204 runs, wickets 12, and average 34 and strike rate of 100 and 2 half centuries. Phenomenal contribution by her. And Laba, matches 8, 9 wickets, best stats 3 for 20, and economy 5.75. So we can say that both the teams are looking quite balanced in terms of stats and the kind of performance they have performed. And Australia defeated India by 4 wickets in the second T20 international at the Melbourne cricket ground on Friday, chasing 126 runs target. Openers Mitchell Marsh and Travis Head gave a flying start to the Aussie innings as the duo added 51 runs for the opening wicket. Marsh slammed 26 ball 46, peppered with 2 fours and 4 sixes. He was ultimately sent back by Kuldeep Yadav, but it was also too little too late. Marsh's opening partner Travis Head smashed a 15 ball 28 before Varun Chakravarti snapped him up, and Bumrah took 2 wickets with 2 runs remaining, but with a low score to defend, Australia saw the target easily even with the late hiccups. Earlier, India batting lineup suffered a failure, folding for just 125 in 18.4 overs. The only bright spark was Abhishek Sharma, who played a sensational knock of 68 of 37 balls, fighting almost single-handedly against the disciplined Australian attack led by Josh Hazlewood and Nathan Ellis. Australia pace try of Hazlewood, Ellis and Bartlett rattled India with a seam bounce and clever variation. The third T20 will be played in Hobart on Sunday. India might opt to make few changes to their team at Hobart in order to claw back the advantage, currently trailing 1-0 in the 5-match series. The men in blue might opt to bring Arshdeep Singh into the mix in place of either Kuldeep Yadav or Harshit Rana. Meanwhile, India batter Shreyas Iyer has been discharged from hospital in Sydney after treatment for a spleen injury which he suffered during the third one-day international against Australia. Iyer was injured last week while taking a catch to dismiss Alex Carey. He clutched his side and we can say they're in pain, and after tumbling to the turf, the Indian Cricket Board BCCI said in a statement that its medical team along with the specialist in the Sydney and India are pleased with the recovery, and he has been discharged from the hospital. The 30-year-old batter underwent a minor procedure to arrest the internal bleeding. Iyer will remain in Sydney for the follow-up consultation and return home once cleared to fly. The trophy of the 2025 edition of the FIDE Chess World Cup has been renamed after the legendary Indian chess player Vishwanathan Anand. The trophy will be called the Vishwanathan Anand Cup as it honors the contribution that the 5-time world champion has made to the sport. The trophy was unveiled in the presence of Union Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia, Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant and FIDE President Artur Dovrovich in Panjim, Goa. Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Indoor Stadium in Goa hosted the 2.5-hour-long opening ceremony of the 2025 FIDE World Cup, marking the official start of one of the world's most prestigious chess events. A vibrant mix of India's leading music and film industry artists delighted an audience of over 1,000 players and officials and guests with a series of breathtaking performances, interwoven inspiring speeches from dignitaries and the chess leaders. So, if we talk about the biggest moment in sports, now tomorrow we will see a big match, that is the World Cup, Women's World Cup final between India and South Africa. We now head for the grand finish, the first ODI World Cup that features neither Australia and nor England, and will crown a new world champion on Sunday night by sending back 2 of the strongest teams in the World Cup history. With the assignment of planning for the future, both India and South Africa stand on the cusp of history. The winners will not only lift the trophy for the first time, but could reshape the contours of the women's game in their homelands, if not globally. And to break down this big World Cup final, we are joined by DD India correspondent Suchitra from Navi Mumbai. Suchitra, very warm welcome. Talking about the journey of the Indian team. Initially, they won 2 matches that we saw few hiccups, but in the semi-finals, we can say surprised everyone with the kind of performance they delivered. But talking about the finals, against a team like South Africa, very unpredictable. In the first match, we saw 69 all out. Against the final league game against Australia, they were all out for 97. So for India, what's going to be the biggest challenge against this unpredictable side?
Yes, good evening, Narayan. It's always a difficult task to face mercurial teams like South Africa, because you can never judge them in a particular match you cannot judge them by their previous performance, how they performed in the last match. As you were just talking about their performance in their last league match against Australia, being bundled out for 97, and then, scoring that big total against England, one team against whom they lost in the semi-finals in the last 2 editions of the World Cup, and on the very same ground in Guwahati, where they were all out at 69 against an opposition and beating the same opposition by 125 runs in the semi-finals. So it definitely shows how South Africa can turn the tables, but it also shows how inconsistent they are. And if we talk about the Indian cricket team, we have seen many tournaments, and the teams who eventually become the champions are the ones who bring out their best as the tournament progresses. So Indian team started well with 2 wins, but if we talk about their win in the very first match against Sri Lanka, it was not a very convincing win. It was their lower order batters who won the match for India, because at one point in time they lost some early wickets and they were in difficult position. Then the match against Pakistan. Pakistan is not really a strong team, so that win cannot be really counted as a big achievement for Team India. But when they faced 3 strong oppositions, South Africa, England and Australia, then they buckled under the pressure. And in all those 3 matches, at one point of time, India was in a position to win that match, but they lost the plot somehow. But in that must-win match against New Zealand, we saw how Team India learned from their mistakes. We saw how they made some changes in their batting lineup. That was the match where Jemimah was promoted and she scored a 50 when it was mattered. Then in the match against Australia, we again saw how they did not buckle down under the big match pressure, facing a team against whom they lost in 1 final and 1 semi-final. Still, they gave their best. And if we talk about the captain, Harmanpreet, she was the one who played that match-winning knock against Australia in the 2017 World Cup semi-final. And once again, even though she is off color in this tournament, but when it mattered the most, Harmanpreet, we saw her best. Those 89 runs and that partnership with Jemimah was really the turning point of that semi-final match. So we can say that Indian team is peaking at the right moment, right before the final. Their match against New Zealand, then their match against Australia. So Indian team's performance is really going upwards, and let's just hope that they continue this momentum in the final also and win the World Cup for the first time. Narayan.
So, as you mentioned that they are peaking at the right moment, the way they big match they won against a big team like Australia, definitely a moral booster for them. And as you mentioned that we saw few shuffling as there was a change in position. She was moved up, Jemimah Rodrigues. So do you think India have finally found the perfect balance ahead of this final, with batting depth till number 8 and the 6th bowling option? Do you see any changes in the order, or do you think that few more they may try some players for the finals, or will they go with that winning combination?
Captain Harmanpreet was asked this question about the playing 11 in the pre-match press conference, and she just smiled away, and she said that, we'll come to know about the final playing 11 right before the match. But as I can see and what I expect, I think no team would like to, tamper the winning combination in the final. And if we talk about the semi-final, then of course Shafali Verma was inducted due to the injured, in place of injured Pratika Rawal, and she is an opener, and we do need an opener. So I think Shafali Verma will be playing in the final, and the way the team performed in the semi-final, I don't see any reasons to make any changes for the final. So we can see the same playing 11 in the final that played against Australia in the semi-final.
Definitely, as things stands, we also can say that the way they played in the big match, that is the semi-final against Australia, it's better to go with that combination. And talking about the South Africa, that we saw that they also went unchanged into their semi-final, but saw their hard-hitting opener Tasneem Brits hurt her shoulder in the Guwahati. So from the South African point of view, do you see some shuffling? They will bring someone, or as the Brits said that she will come back again, or but the team management will, do you think will stick with Brits, or they will throw some surprises?
Narayan, South Africa's pre-match press conference was held before their practice session. So, the captain, she went for the practice session right after the press conference. So, she was asked about the playing 11 and any changes in the team, and she said that they did not have a look at the pitch and surroundings. And we also know that India played their last 2 matches, and the one match that was washed out against Bangladesh in Navi Mumbai. But South Africa was playing in Guwahati. They played their semi-final in Guwahati, and they have landed here right before the final. And this is the first time that India is going to meet South Africa in Navi Mumbai. So they may have some changes in their lineup, considering the pitch in Guwahati was very different from what we get here in Navi Mumbai, because DY Patil Stadium is known scoring matches, and any score is chaseable here. So you can't stick to the same playing 11 what you picked in Guwahati for DY Patil, because both the stadiums, both the surfaces are totally different. And if we talk about the teams also, then the Australian team plays differently to what Indian team plays, because as we see, Alana King, the kind of performance she had against other teams, she was not that successful against the Indian team. So similarly, South Africa will keep those things in mind, that this time they are facing India in DY Patil Stadium, a better friendly pitch. And this particular stadium, DY Patil Stadium, is called the home of women cricket in India. WPL this particular stadium is very famous for the WPL matches. So Indian team is literally playing at their home. So South Africa will definitely keep in mind the batting conditions here, and they may make some changes in their playing 11. Narayan.
Definitely, the condition, always we should respect the condition, and horses for the courses will be the key to success. Thanks, Sucha, for joining us and giving a perspective of this big match between India and South Africa, the Women's World Cup final in Navi Mumbai. Thanks a lot. Now shifting to the other story, that is Cricket Association for the Blind in India on Wednesday unveiled the Team India's official jersey for the upcoming historic inaugural Women's T20 World Cup for the blind in 2025. The launch event was graced by Chairman of the CABI, Dr. G.K. Mahantesh, alongside President Women's T20 World Cup Cricket for the Blind, Meenakshi Lekhi. A total of 6 nations will participate in the inaugural World Cup: Australia, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, United States of America and the host India. 5 participating teams are scheduled to arrive in New Delhi on November 10 ahead of the grand inauguration ceremony on November 11 at the Modern School, Barakhamba in New Delhi.
Very excited, especially when we are going to host the inaugural matches in Delhi. Then we'll have some matches in Bangalore. but the finals and the semi-finals are going to be held in our friendly neighborhood, that is Sri Lanka, and co-hosting with Sri Lanka has been pretty exciting, especially the Prime Minister, while on her visit was here in Delhi. She met the team. We've got a whole lot of support from our government, ministers, including the President of India, has chosen to meet us. So the entire atmosphere is very, very positive.
Preparations are in full swing both in India and in Sri Lanka. So both governments are extending full support. Ministry of Sports, Government of India, and Ministry of Sports, Sri Lanka, and Sri Lankan government, our government, are fully supporting us. And our girls are very well prepared, and they are eagerly waiting to play the tournament.
And India's women's cricket team for the inaugural T20 World Cup for the visually impaired aims to turn the dreams into reality, practicing hard in the Delhi. These cricketers are preparing not just for a match but for a moment in history. Come November 11, as India and Sri Lanka co-host this one of the event, the world will witness a celebration of spirit, strength and sound of courage. So did India brings this exclusive report.
They can't see the ball, but they can feel the sound of their dreams. The Indian women's team for the inaugural T20 World Cup for the visually impaired is not just preparing for a tournament, they are preparing to make history. India's initial matches in the tournament will be played at the modern school at the Barakamba Road in New Delhi. For these women, cricket isn't just a sport, it's a voice, a purpose, a new life. From small towns and silent struggles, they have risen, one sound, one step, and one dream at a time. Some were told they couldn't play, others were told they shouldn't dream. But they did, and how beautifully they did.
All 16 girls which we are seeing today, they are a different part of our country. Starts from Jammu Kashmir, we can take it Jammu, Delhi, Assam, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh. So Assam, one girl is from Assam also. So this all from the different background, and the most of the girls are from the very poor background, like agriculture background. Maybe the parents are going for the daily wages. This kind of the backgrounds what we are having. It is not easy for a girl to come into any sports. But when we started this journey, their struggle was completely different, because the one typical village from there to reach to the Indian team and playing for our country is one of the biggest achievement what our girls has done today.
Before the joining, there was lots of struggle, as I was from a very poor background family. It was very quite struggle for me. My parents and my villagers, they don't allow me to play. Before, when they heard that I'm gonna play, they said that you should not play, you are a girl, how can you play? Around 400 girls, 16 has been selected. It is quite tough. It is not easy for anyone. I thank the KB Samarthanam Cricket Association for the Blind in India. They have supported me a lot.
As they train under the bright sun in Delhi, their spirit lights up the field stronger than any spotlight. Every catch, every boundary, every cheer for teammates feels like a victory over darkness. This World Cup for the visually impaired, co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka from November 11 to 23, isn't just a cricket tournament. It's a celebration of courage where six nations, including Australia, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and the USA, come together to rewrite what the world thinks is possible. As the countdown begins to November 11, these brave women stand ready not just to play but to inspire an entire generation. Their journey reminds us that vision is not in the eyes but in the spirit. When the bat meets the ball, it's more than a game. It's a hope taking flight. Win or lose, they have already shown the world what true strength looks like. This isn't just India's team, it's India's pride shining through every sound, every step and every dream. Narayan Singh for DD India, Delhi.
And after more than 2 decades of passion, perseverance and pride, India's tennis icon Rohan Bopanna has announced the retirement from the professional tennis. His final match came at the Paris Masters 1000, where he partnered with Alexander Bublik in doubles, marking the end of a glorious 22-year journey that inspired generations of Indian tennis players. Born and raised in Coorg, Karnataka, Bopana's story is nothing short of cinematic. He started by chopping wood to build strength for his serve and running through the coffee estates to improve stamina to one of India's most celebrated tennis figures. So that's all we have for you on Match Point this week, where passion truly meets performance. Keep the sporting spirit alive and join us next week for more action, insights and inspiration from the world's sport. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.
To poets, it was paradise. To the stars, their mirror. To India, it was Avantika, Ujjaini or Ujjain. The city of poetry and time. Watch special episode of Forever Cities on Ujjain, only on DD India.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.